What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to the Copy Podcast and Pod and a Pint, episode 22. We are in the Red Lion. We were due to be in Monroe. We had to make a quick getaway over the road, but luckily Rob Gutman's a good guy and he sorted us out in the Red Lion on the Guinness as always. Yeah. And I'm with Pete Bolster. Nice one, Pete. Nice one for jumping on.
Yeah, no worries, yeah. Happy to be here in the Red Lion, of course.
Yeah, we're nice and cosy upstairs and it's absolutely shocking outside, so yeah, well happy to be inside. Opening question like we always do, we just came up with this one because I had a little look on Google and they were all a bit shit, and after the one we had a couple of weeks ago with like the liquids from your fingers, that one's like, you're never topping that one, so let's just go footy-ish on this one. So as we're probably going to be signing Frimpong and Wirtz soon, hopefully, and we'll talk about him in a minute. What's your favourite ever German signing?
Favourite German? So we hope it's Wirtz, don't we?
We hope it's
I mean, for all that money, what is it, 150 million euros or whatever, I can't do the conversion, so we'll just sack that off.
126, I think.
Yeah,
126.
We hope it's Wirtz, it probably will be Wirtz. I mean, if you're thinking about a German player, just as in value, Joel Matip is brilliant, but if I'm just going to think back to a child, Marcus Babbel for me was just unbelievable. Obviously his career was cut short through that terrible illness, but he was a fine right back, and it was exciting signing someone from Bayern Munich at the time, because it's ironic, isn't it, that we're talking about beating Bayern Munich to a signing. We took one from their very own, so that was brilliant at the time. And the other one was Christian Ziege. And obviously it didn't really work out very well, but at the time I loved the fact that Liverpool sort of got done for tapping up. I know it's all wrong and they paid a bit of a penalty, but I liked the fact that we were sort of acting like a big club at the time and using our muscle power. So so I got fond memories of them. Obviously didn't work out to be the greatest signings, but obviously we've just spoken about that, haven't we? It's going to be Wirtz.
Yeah, definitely. I think Ziege's a mad one, because didn't he go to like Middlesbrough after that or something?
He come from Middlesbrough, didn't he?
It was Middlesbrough.
And then we had to pay like a fine or something, and I think he went to Spurs afterwards. And
he was riddled with injuries, wasn't he?
So didn't really work out, did it? But he was interesting to watch, and he played his part in that season, didn't he, when we won the treble, so yeah, fair enough.
No, there's a few, and like, obviously we're not going to mention Loris Karius, like God bless him, because of for obvious reasons. You know what I mean?
He's had his resurgence recently, hasn't he? Which is sort of nice to see now that we've carried on winning lots of stuff, hasn't it, afterwards? So
it might have been softens the blow a little.
It does soften the blow, yeah.
If that was like, if we were like, say like a Spurs, like obviously got the Champions League final when we beat them. Yeah. In the last one, if he was involved in that, and then they don't get to another one, you're looking at him going, lads,
very much so, isn't it?
You fucked that only Champions League.
Absolutely. And I mean, we're going to keep it positive about Loris, so
he's a good fella.
We'll leave him alone.
No, but there's a few others like Didi Hamann, and I had a quick look on. I'll read out the list just in case you fancy picking someone else. But I think Emre Can was decent enough. I really like Riedler as well.
Yeah, Karl-Heinz Riedler again. He joined us, didn't he? When Dortmund, I think, were European champions. So that was an exciting signing.
Massive signing,
I think he scored in the Champions League final as well, didn't he? For them?
Yeah, I think he did.
So he was brilliant in the year. He was exciting as well. We had a few players. I know that another one that reminds me, obviously not Jim, was Jari Littenham at the time. Another star player coming in, but go on.
I think it was that era, wasn't it, where we were getting linked with good players and we'd get them, but we'd maybe get them a few years too late.
That's what it was, wasn't it? Apart from Sean Dundee, of course, because we signed him in his prime, didn't we? So.
I done a pod with Sean Dundee many moons ago. It was good to get his side of the story. So if you want to go and have a watch of that, you can, because it was a good little chat. But yeah, a few others. Frauendorf, I think he only played a couple of games. Nuri Sahin as well, Samad Yessel.
Nuri Sahin was quite disappointing, wasn't he?
Yeah. It's a few decent goals, but never really set the world alight. No. It was on loan anyway, wasn't it? So we knew he was always going back.
Yeah, well, I think if you sign a player like on loan, I know Real Madrid didn't want him, did he? So you could have always signed him. We just chose not to. He went back to Dortmund in the end, but I don't even think he lit the world up there, did he? No. Flattered to deceive a little bit, but oh well, what can you do?
Yeah, it's one of them, innit? I think like Riedler memories. I remember. I think he scored on his debut against Leeds. I can picture it, and it was like a chip from like outside the box. It was just like
I remember that one now when you say it. I always pictured him in the yellow kit though. Yellow. And we must have scored in a game away or something like that. But
just proper oversized. That yellow kit back in the day was class, wasn't it? A few different options there, to be fair. But let us know in your comments what you reckon. Let's talk about another German then. Let's talk about Florian Wirtz. Obviously, Frimpong is over the line, 30 mil, which looks like, I love the way we did the whole thing with like Trent leaving, and then we announced it on the same day, which was like, I think was a good move by the club to like usher someone out through the back door and go, here's the new lad, by the way, and he's looking like he wants to get straight into the team and all that stuff. So it's exciting stuff. Obviously going to rival Bradley for that role, and then obviously we might see him in a right wing role as well going forward, maybe as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you just rewind a little bit, and when a manager comes in, we always assume that he wants the players that are there that are already brilliant. Now, if we just take the political side out of Trent Alexander-Arnold and we just judge him off being a fantastic footballer for Liverpool, he's very much that. He's a Liverpool legend in the ability that he's shown over the years. He's won a European Cup, he's won a couple of Premier Leagues, he's won everything there is to be, and he's been brilliant to watch. Now, this isn't me being bitter, so I'm trying to give a balanced argument. But when Arne Slot comes in, everyone's assuming that we want that right back, Arne Slot wants that right back to play like Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, if you look back at Arne Slot and in his management style, it's not how Trent plays. Yeah. He doesn't want an inverted player. We've not seen that this season with Trent. He's been very much a right back. But he also wants someone who bombs on, and that's what he's getting there with Frimpong. So I think it might seem like a terrible thing that Trent's leaving, but Arne Slot might be thinking, do you know what, this is great, so you're leaving, but you're going to put everything in, win the Premier League, great, and then I get what I want. And I think this is what we're getting now. We're getting a bit of more what Arne Slot wants, and hopefully that's going to be brilliant, and I'm excited to see what's going to come next with Frimpong. But he looks like a character as well, doesn't he? And
it does.
It's infectious, isn't it, how happy he is to be at Liverpool, and it's exactly what you want to see. I think Liverpool fans they haven't articulated themselves sometimes as much as possibly we could have when we're talking about Alexander-Arnold. We like to be loved. Yeah. It's dead simple, isn't it? When the opposing goalkeeper claps the cop, we're very happy about that. Definitely. And we've not like got that love back from Trent. It's been very cold and calculated, and because Frimpong was coming in on the same day, like you said, Mick, that it's brilliant, isn't it? Really, really good PR, and showing his family element as well.
His dad and his brother supporting Liverpool and all that, just like all that stuff where you wouldn't have to pay for tickets anymore. You know, all those little bits in the video were just
absolutely, class, I wish I was a family member.
Getting sorted out by Jeremy Frimpong. But no, I completely agree, because I've saw countless analysis videos on what Trent was given in the last year. Obviously, Slot's first season, he comes in and he fucking absolutely smashed it, wins the Premier League, but he does it with Klopp's side essentially, apart from Chiesa. But we know that his tactics going forward are going to be, because I think we did see Trent a bit more reserved in terms of bombing forward last season, because he wants to, in those areas, he doesn't want them, like you said, doesn't want them coming inside, but he wants someone who, if they're going to get forward, they're going to be able to get back as well.
Yeah, they've got to get back, and absolutely. I think with Trent as well, and again, we're not going to make it about his frailties and his things that are not in his game, but when we're talking about Frimpong, we have to mention that, don't we? And I think what you're saying here is Trent just didn't have that ability to get back like Frimpong is. He's absolutely lightning and quick. I heard that he's like the fastest player in the Liverpool side already, which is amazing, isn't it? So, and I think Liverpool have been lacking that pace. I think that's one of our things this season, where you think, that recovery pace in transition, we were caught a little bit, and I'm sure we'll come on to it a little bit more, but I don't think watching Liverpool over the past 12 months, we've had as much control as some people might think we have. That's why the games have only had one goal in it a lot of the time. And I think we're engineering moves towards that now, and hopefully with Frimpong and over-signings like Kirkes as well, possibly coming in, it'll go towards that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it is exciting, especially like you said. But I think any pace you can get in the side is nice, isn't it? Like when Bradley's came into the side, I think his pace is underrated as well when he bottoms up with that.
100%, yeah, it's a breath of fresh air. If you think about it, like regardless of whether Trent can get back or not, he just didn't do it, did he? Yeah. Then you've got McAllister, who I think is absolutely phenomenal, but he's not lightning quick. He's not really quick. You talk about the midfield three. You sort of have to play them free because of the dynamics. McAllister, you're playing him for his guile, his creativity. But Gravenberch, you had to play him, and you had to play Szoboszlai, because if you brought in Curtis Jones or Harvey Elliott, he just wasn't quick enough. So then you've got, what I'm trying to say is, if you brought Jones in or Elliott, you would have had to drop McAllister. because you can't have two slow players in a three-man midfield. You just can't do that.
It's a complement each other, isn't it?
Got to, yeah. And I think now it's essential. Obviously, they've got to have quality, and Liverpool are doing that in the transfer market, but pace is absolutely essential.
Yeah, massively, and that's why we've seen Szoboszlai in that basically a 10%. He was basically a second striker last season, wasn't he? I think we might change a little bit from that. I think we saw that at the end of last season where he was dropping more as an 8. Obviously, that kind of fits into what we're going to be saying now about Wirtz, because maybe that's where we're going to be seeing him. I'm excited just for, we're talking about like fixtures and stuff and like pre-season friendlies and all that stuff. I'm excited for that, to see how that starts going, who we start seeing in certain places, and kind of start and get an idea of this like slot 2.0, because this is he's starting to build what he wants, like we said.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things last season is that, like, well, obviously when Jurgen Klopp announces he's leaving, we're all devastated, and if we could go back in time, he still wouldn't replace Jurgen Klopp. You'd keep him, of course you would. But when you've seen 9 years of Liverpool playing a certain way, you naturally are going to want to see something else. Not that you, like we said, you wouldn't have changed the manager. But as soon as we said that the manager was changing, you sort of get excited to think, well, actually, what are we going to see? And the one thing that I've missed over the years, and I know many Liverpool fans have felt the same as I, is the fact that the midfield's not technical enough, and it's very industrious. And when we sort of half changed it when we brought Thiago in, and he was great to watch. Then you missed having Gini Wijnaldum and Henderson covering everywhere and so on and stuff. So it comes with its caveats, but now Liverpool look like they're fully doing it, because you've got some real technical players there. You've got Gravenberg, who's very press resistant. He's brilliant on the ball. McAllister, we've just spoke about. So bringing in Wirtz, you've got a completely different midfield. But the point is, last season, I don't think we seen an Arne Slot side, because we only had one signing. So he didn't have the tools really to implement what he wants Liverpool to play like. And for me personally now, I'm really excited to see that, because you can already think, well, you're signing these two quick fullbacks, you're signing this absolute world superstar in the number 10 position. Liverpool haven't played with the number 10 for such a long time. I don't even know when it was. It's incredible, isn't it? So I'm excited for that, Mick.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think there's that's what I mean. I think there's certain elements of especially when Slot came in, he was asked like, how are you going to play, or something along those lines, and he was like, it's not going to be a massive change, because he probably knew there's not going to be many signings coming in, so he can't implement exactly what he wants, but he's going to, in terms of him doing what he's doing with basically a Klopp squad and winning the Premier League at the first go is pretty amazing. So that's why the excitement's elevated for me, because once he starts getting the players in, like we're seeing so far, with Frimpong and hopefully Wirtz, and like you said, Kerker's coming in, those three would be just, in terms of, I mean, hopefully them building on it, but those three can be take us exactly where we need to be and put us on the right
100%.
path.
I think it's a sign that we're going to bully a lot of teams as well. It doesn't mean we'll win the league. It doesn't mean we'll win the Champions League. It puts us in a position where we certainly feel like we're going to compete all the way. I certainly believe that, but you just know that there will be certain teams in the league now, the way he's going to set up, it will bully them, and I don't think I think there'll be more games this season, or the next season should I say, that we won't win by the odd goal. It'll be a couple of goals, and it'll be a bit more controlled, like Liverpool fans I've been hoping to see over the past 12 months. I think it definitely will be now. Yeah,
I think we saw at the start of last season, like especially the first half, where we'd try and get the game won and 60, bring on the subs, and then obviously as the season goes on, there's more and more games, you get injuries, suspensions and all those things. It becomes a bit more difficult to do that, but obviously once you've got better players in those areas and you can swap like for like, then it's much easier, isn't it, to implement styles and stuff. But let's talk about Wirtz a little bit more then, because we mentioned Frimpong, and he's going to be absolutely rapid in those areas. I just can't wait to see the link up with Wirtz as well, because I think that's something that I think I can't remember who posted, but like Frimpong like reposted it on his Instagram. It was like Wirtz times Frimpong, and like the link up and all that. So obviously he's making a little joke there, and obviously hopefully knows more than us in terms of if it's going to be close to being done or whatever. But I think that's a massive thing as well, that those two have played for each other for a number of seasons now. So when those are in those certain areas, like where Frimpong's on the edge of the box and cutting it back like he likes to do, into those areas where Wirtz is going to be lingering, that he can. We've already got a bit of a head start in regard, haven't we?
100%. And the fact that Xabi Alonso was their manager as well, and as much as Xabi Alonso is potentially going to be a great manager and he's done very well in Germany, he was very cautious manager as well, very safe in possession, and so they're used to that. So if we go back to what Arne Slot wants, he wants control, so they know what to do. But like you just said there, knowing that side, that maybe he plays more on the left, doesn't he, a bit of it, but we don't know what's going to happen, and that's the beauty of it. And I think that clever footballers will find spaces, and when that right hand side's overloaded, and I think we're missing someone here, is Mohamed Salah as well. Mohamed Salah he's obviously getting a bit slower. He's not slow. He hasn't got that blistering pace as he did quite a few years ago, but he's dropping more. He's like the 10 on the right hand side, isn't he? I always compare him to Harry Kane, but on the right hand side, the way he drops deep, he still scores goals, but he's setting up play. And I think now that he's going to have runners, and we go back to sound a bit boring now, going back to pace, but once you've got those blistering runners with Mohamed Salah's, fantastic passes that he's got, I'm trying to think of the word there, is eye for the pass. I just think he's going to be even better. You think about all the assists he's got this season, but then if you talk about Wirtz, going back to what the whole point of this question is that like him getting into those spaces, it's his varying ability for me that is brilliant, because sometimes you look at a player like, pick on Harvey Elliott for a moment, everyone enjoys him picking up this lovely pass, but he's not going to glide past players, and I think Wirtz is, he can make the pass, he can dribble, he slows the game down to his own pace, but he's quicker than everyone else, if that makes sense. He's low centre of gravity. He seems like he's got it all. And what was really interesting to me when you've seen the clips, I mean, it's one of the modern day thing, and everyone watches the clips, is that he knew what he was going to do before the ball comes to him. And I think a lot of great players that happens, but it's so obvious when you watch him. It's like he's already fought it, because he makes these backheel passes that I always think when you see great things like that is when it surprises you as a viewer, and you're looking at it going, whoa, didn't see that myself. Sometimes you're in the ground and you're like, make that pass there on the left or whatever, and when they're surprising you, you think, wow. And it's just so exciting, isn't it, for the idea of him coming to Anfield, because we get to go and watch him there, which is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think he's one of them. I think I've not seen loads of him. Obviously, watched him against Scotland when he was playing for Germany, and I've obviously watched him when they came to Anfield, and a couple of other games for Leverkusen as well. But what I just keep coming back to Coutinho, but like he's got more of a mean streak. He likes to be on that left hand side, cut in. Maybe Coutinho, because Coutinho's dribbling ability was just absolutely ridiculous as a Brazilian, but I think he's got elements of that, the stature, the dribbling ability, the eye for a goal, the eye for a pass, but with the mean streak and willing to get stuck in, do the hard yards. And I think it says a lot about his character that he's that good that you could say to him, just stay in that area, don't do that, like we do with Salah. Essentially, you don't have to run back all the way all the time. In the big games, and we win in Egypt too, then you do. But like in certain games, you can just stay around there and we'll do it for you. You could say that to him, really. Yeah. But he's still willing to put in the graft and that. And I think that says a lot about the character. And obviously, Liverpool don't sign knobheads. No. That's the rule. I think that rings true for him as well. Yeah, absolutely. But he's very German, isn't he? When you think about that, industrious, industrious, like an industrious Coutinho. I think the word is, Dan, I'd say he's got over Coutinho. When you're saying he's got a bit more like bite with him and stuff, he's efficient. I would say a bit like Thomas Muller. He's got that mean streak in him where he'll do anything to win type of thing. That's class. I love that. You want players on your side that are like that, don't you? 100%, and he just seems like he's giving everything all the time. And like you just said, Mick, I'm not seeing a hell of a lot of them, but I've watched them for 2 weeks straight now. I've not even slept. Just like that with your eyes open. I think positionally he obviously is going to play that number 10. I think loads of Liverpool fans are like, where's he going to play? What's going to happen? Well, like we've alluded to over the course of this show, is that Arne Slot hasn't had this moment yet to change the system. And I think he has been doing it in game anyway throughout the season. I think you'll see a double pivot now to accommodate it. We've seen it with Ryan Gravenberch, where he sort of goes back to that centre half role, doesn't he? I think the first time I've seen that was when we had a man sent off against Fulham.
and we didn't look like we had a man sent off.
No,
because
that was amazing the way we made that second half.
Yeah, he's done that a few times now, and his ability to just be able to play like 2 positions at once is what we'll see. And I think you'll see like five attacking players at times now overload, and Wirtz will be the orchestrator to all of this, and I just can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, because especially because Kerkez, obviously if Kerkez comes in, that'll probably be the next San, hopefully, and Frimpong. They're going to be basically wingers, aren't they? And you're going to have a box, aren't you? Basically, you're going to have Van Dijk, Kanate, and you're going to have McAllister and Gravenberch, and they're just going to be in that little box there ready. Yeah. Obviously, they need to come back as well, but in terms of attacking, and you look on the other side with Wirtz and Gakpo, Salah. Yeah, it's obviously.
And we spoke about it on the right hand side before the triangle. That's what I'm saying with Wirtz. I think great players will just find space. I think he'll be doing both sides.
Oh no, yeah.
And Kerkez and Diaz on the left, and you just think, wow, I just can't wait to watch this.
Just pure pace everywhere, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think especially like I mentioned, like if Wirtz gets over the line, it's about 126 mil. It looks like 150 million euros or. What was it, 300 billion yen or whatever? Like people just taking the piss online, aren't they? Just taking it to different currencies and adding loads of zeros on. If that comes at 126, I think Kerkez will be about 45, hopefully. So if you factor in the Keller and Trent incomes, which I think, so Keller was like 12, but rises to 18, Trent was about 9 or 10 mil, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It comes to about 173 mil after, if you factor those outgoings in. So I think especially, and I put something like this on Twitter, because like you're solving the quality and depth of the fullback areas, and you're signing basically a generational talent who can be at the club for 10 years, and you can be your best player post Salah if Salah leaves in 2 years, and you can build a team around Wirtz instead. That's not too bad, is it? Do you know what I mean?
No, absolutely not. And you think about Salah and Van Dijk, they're not going to go on forever. But if we just think specifically about Mohamed Salah, is that he's probably, if not almost certainly, going to leave in 2 years' time. Okay, so if you've replaced him now, that's brilliant, isn't it? What done my head in over the years was that Steven Gerrard was an unbelievable footballer, but we knew at some point you had to replace him. So Liverpool, as soon as he come in the first team, should have been saving the money up every year for 15 years or whatever it was to replace him, and he didn't. So it's the same with Salah now. You know he's going to leave in 2 years' time. And what a fantastic career he would have had. So you need to bring in the top talent, and I think that FSG have acknowledged that, and that's brilliant. And I'm not going to be all like an FSG like the brilliance and this, but they have been fantastic for the club. They've given us structure. They've made us win, which is brilliant, because I love winning. I love winning the Premier League. It's amazing. But most importantly for them is they have to do it for them, because for this to keep being a successful business model, you need to win. You need to be in that Champions League. You need to be earning the money. And not only that, for a club like Liverpool, you need to play attacking, attractive football. And with Florian Wirtz coming in, that will continue now for a long time, won't it? Yeah. Players of that stature. And Liverpool needs to keep signing them. So it's in their own interest as well.
Definitely. I think the big thing for me that I keep coming back to is City were interested in Wirtz and they were interested in Kerkez, and they've ultimately ended up with Cherki and Aït-Nouri, and obviously they're still class players in their own right, but I think it says that obviously everyone's shopping in the same market, but the fact that we've won the Premier League and we've always had pull as Liverpool, because Liverpool are a juggernaut of European footy, but when you've got like the parade scenes. It's all you have to do is go, lad, just look at this. You know what I mean? Look at that parade. Like, just come and sign for our club.
100%.
It's an easy sell, isn't it, really?
No, 100%. And I think that's what is brilliant about this, because at the end of the day, what has brought us to this moment in this success and how brilliant Liverpool have been over this course of time, over the last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, whatever it is you want to call it, is we haven't signed always the most expensive players at times. I know people will go, well, you signed Virgil van Dijk and you signed this, and I know that, but within those years, there was a lot of barren years where we didn't spend a lot of money. You'd only have to look at our net spend. The key to all of this was signing the right player. So I don't really care if he cost 126 million or he cost 12 million. If he's the right player, exactly. That's the thing. I mean, you look at Man United, they signed Pogba for like 90 million or so. Yeah. You can go and waste money and they won't be the right player. So the most important thing is the right player. But going back to what you've just said there, Mick, is it does not feel brilliant though when you do spend that amount of money, because you're beating the top clubs in Europe, like City, of course, if they went for a player, it was like, well, they're getting them.
Exactly.
Bayern Munich, the same. It's the fact that now players are choosing us, but I think that comes down to being what you've just said then, the parade and so on, and being Premier League champions. And the most disappointing thing about the last time we were Premier League champions, we didn't capitalise on that moment. I just didn't feel like we did, and that was hugely disappointing. And they used COVID at the time. Maybe it was true. Well, I believe now, give them the benefit of the doubt because they're doing it now. But they had to do something this time. They had to really strike while the iron's hot, and they've done that, and fair enough. And it's brilliant, and that's what's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, massively. It's absolutely, literally can't wait. Well, that brings us on to, we were talking about fixtures before we started recording, and it is 6 days next Wednesday now till the fixtures come out. And yeah, I don't know if I used to be proper excited about this. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think when I was a bit younger, I used to be like, fixture days, like boss. You know, just start like mapping out like the season and like.
I'm still sad, Mick. I'm still like that.
I still do like it, but I think it was like when I was in school, it was like something like massive where I'd always look for. But
I'm still in school, you see. So
you had to be fair, yeah.
So I'm still in school, messing about when I'm supposed to be working.
Yeah. No, but yeah, 6 days. So yeah, I think it's. As well, I love looking at like the end of the season because I'm always thinking Liverpool are going to be hopefully like winners again with a month to go, or you're going to be in like a dogfight for the
you want it to be kind
you're
at the
looking
end.
Who've got the last 5 games, like a few like kind home games in there and all that stuff. Obviously looking at Everton and Man United like we always do, but I think it's just another sign like this period where the season ended and 6 days till the fixtures come out. Obviously there's a friendly as well, not too distant future. I think it's just gone like that. Usually it feels like a big drag for me, but I feel like it's gone pretty quickly. I don't know if that's because like the parade and all of the stuff like, that lasts like for weeks after, because you can watch loads of different bits and different angles, and then there's transfer stuff, which I'm not usually the massive fan of transfer stuff, but when you're getting linked with players like we are getting linked with, and we're hopefully signing players like we're signing, it makes the days go by a bit quicker because you can just watch Flying Wirtz on repeat.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's all the reasons we've already said. I think it's the players we're signing, the change of style of play potentially, not like massively, but there will be elements to it, injecting the pace. But the other thing as well is the fact that we're just champions. And if you remember last time in 2020, we didn't get to go in the ground and tell everyone we're champions. And I know we've done that in the Guard of Honours and so on, but to do it really in the competitive games where everyone's riding on it again and shout or chant champions is what I'm really excited for. So there's all of those elements, isn't there? Looking forward to. But even if the fixtures are, for me personally, I'm that sad, Mick, but I'm looking forward to the obviously the Everton away fixture in the Hill Dickey Stadium.
True.
So I mean, imagine beating them in the first game. That'd be all right, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's an argument though at the end of the season, what you say before about a few easy ones. So that's what I used to always think. But if you think about it, if you have the easier games first, you've already got the points on the board.
You've got the points, There's two ways looking at it,
And if you got like Arsenal at home,
but you've got to sewn up.
You've got to like we did.
We did, because we had Arsenal. I think like a couple of weeks before we had Arsenal, we were like, oh, that one could be a massive one. But before, obviously, we got it done out before then, didn't we?
And I always think if Liverpool need to win those last games with us, the atmosphere, we'll get them over that line.
No, it's definitely. Well, we'll finish with a quiz, and I prepped you on this one because
he's prepped me, and I still don't know.
Who did the one with? I think it was with John Gibbons, and I just launched on him at the end, and he was like, "Oh shit!" I think it was name every player that's played for Liverpool and West Ham. It's like your brain just goes, "Oh shit!" Who? I can't even think of anyone. So there's this one is because obviously we're going to be signing. We're signing Frimpong. It looks like we're going to be signing Frimpong and Wirtz. So that's 2 players from Bayer Leverkusen. But there's 5 others who are double agents. So they're both players who've played for both Liverpool and Leverkusen. It took me a while. I think I got 2 initially, and I was going to Google it anyway because I had to get the answers. But there's 5 different players that you can get.
So I'm only thinking German ones, and the German ones that we've spoke about, I can't remember them playing for Leverkusen at all. And then I keep getting mixed up with in the noughties when we played in the Champions League, and I'm thinking, what am I thinking? So I need some clues, Mick.
So that's a clue. Pause it here if you want to have a little think for yourself, because these are going to come out fast, I reckon. So I'll give you there's 1, 2, there's 3 Germans and there's 2 non-Germans. So there's not an obvious one, but he played for Liverpool, then he went to Leverkusen. I don't know if he went straight there after, but this is a legend. Like, he was at the club for 10 years, centre half.
Oh yeah, it's Mr. Sami Hyypiä, isn't it?
It is indeed. There you go. You've got that one, Sami Hyypiä.
What a shame. Could have got that one before.
So I'll go with the other non-German. This one, I think I mentioned him on the pod last week with Rob. He had like one of the best pre-seasons ever, but ultimately turned out to be shit. I don't know if you can get it off that. I'll give you some more clues if you can't get it off that. He had a boss pre-season, I think he scored quite a few decent goals, and then he was a free transfer, and he just turned to shit.
He was a free transfer for Liverpool?
Yeah. I think he was anyway. If he's not, then fucking hell, he got ripped.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not a striker now.
Striker, yeah. Long blonde hair.
Oh, no, not Voronin.
Yeah.
Was it him?
Andre Voronin. Andre Voronin, yeah. Oh, what a guy.
That was mad, wasn't he?
What a guy. Yeah, so I'll go with the most obvious one. So there's 3 Germans left. Emre Can, I've just told you that one. Fucking hell, said it out loud. Yeah. There's the other one is, so this is like 90, I think 90s, I think he came in, late 90s. Big fella. Actually not German, he's fucking Dutch. He's big fella, and everyone thought he was mad.
Erich Meijer.
Yeah.
Didn't he score any goals, did he? Did he score one or something?
I think he scored a couple in that, I think like League Cup or something. And now this is the last one. I wouldn't have got this. I think he played, it was 1 game for Leverkusen. And then, I don't know if he came to us straight after, but he was like a youngster at us, and I think he played 2 League Cup games, didn't have any Premier appearances.
Oh yeah, no wonder I'm not getting this, eh?
Yeah. I wouldn't have got this one.
2 League Cup games. He's German?
German, yeah.
Is it like that Jessel or something?
Sami Jessel, yeah.
Sami Jessel.
Got it, yeah.
There we
nice
go.
One. Yeah, so Emre Can, I gave you that one. Sami Hyypiä, Erich Meijer, Andre Voronin.
I didn't know Emre Can played for Leverkusen.
Yeah. Leverkusen, Bayern Munich, 2012 to 2013, Leverkusen 13-14, played like 30 games. And then came to us obviously for 4 years after that. So yeah, straight from Leverkusen to us.
People always forget about Emre Can in the sense that like he left us on a free transfer, and I'm not saying like he's done the dirty or whatever. I just feel like disappointed for him in his career because he's done all right and he's been relatively successful. But I always, do you know when Jurgen Klopp came in and then he had ideas for certain players and you didn't always quite believe him because he just said everything good about every player.
Yeah.
You know, he said about breaking the lines and making those runs in midfield. And at the time, I was thinking, that's not what a midfielder is supposed to be. They're supposed to be like Xabi Alonso, making the passes.
Yeah.
So I never believed him. But then when he left, he went later and signed Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yeah.
So I always think, like, if he didn't leave, he wouldn't have signed Oxlade-Chamberlain, possibly.
Yeah.
And he would have been the guy. And obviously, he's had some longevity in his career. So he would have been a brilliant Liverpool player, really.
Yeah.
So it's a shame. But
no, he was a decent player. I thought, like, because he was playing like more centre back, weren't he? For like
for Brendan Rodgers at a point, wasn't he?
Yeah. And he was just like, he's one of the quickest players, but it took him about 4 minutes to get going. Like,
all to 10.
He'd start running and he'd be like, oh fucking hell, lads, he's running streakily. Yeah. But then once he's going, he's like a fucking tram, absolutely flying. But yeah, there's the far players. But we shall leave it there. Pete, nice one for your time, lad. That was episode 22 of Pod and a Pint in the Red Lion, upstairs, nice and cosy. It's pissing down outside, so enjoying the Guinness. So yeah, nice one everyone for watching or listening. Nice one to Pete, and we'll see you on the next one. Ta-da.